All right, all right, all right. Let's see, I just got the stream started. Trying to see if we can continue with this trend. During London, we took the long setup from the Asian sell side into the Asian buy side. We retraced, shifted structure once again right here. So we closed back above, filled the bullish fair value gap, had a bullish reaction from it. We hit the previous week's low one more time, leaving behind a new bullish discount. So I want to see if price wants to respect that here at 8 a.m. and to continue simply for quick 5 points to the upside. If we close below, I immediately exit the position. We have our London session range. New York opened up, so we would like to see a fractal high swept on EU. We also have a 15-minute, that's a 5. Let's check the 15. So on the 15, no. Let's see if we close below. I'm getting out of this position. I really should have gotten in right here, but that train has left the station. It's just one micro contract. I think we should be able to stomach that. New hourly open. What's the hourly candle looking like? Not bullish. At least right now. Looks like we're gonna close below, but I'm allowing it some time. Otherwise, I will just be stopped out. So far, the London session, or since we opened up, all we did was sort of a seek and destroy profile. We put in place an Asian session high and low. We clear the low, we run the high, we immediately revert back into the range. Similar to what we saw yesterday. We are below the previous week's low. We have our 1 hour bullish fair value gap right here. London sell side, London buy side liquidity. The New York midnight open. Let's see, how are we going to close here? If we close below, I'm out of this trade. Check the 1 minute here quickly. Our 1 minute bullish fair value gap. So we closed below. We hit the 50%. Gonna get out of this. Didn't show me what I wanted to see. We rejected from this bearish fair value gap. That's okay. So right now we're just stuck between the previous week's low and the previous day's low. Best to wait for external liquidity to be swept and then see what we're gonna do. On a 15-minute, we do not see much. On a 1 hour time frame, all we did so far is really, just like we spoke about, that seek and destroy behavior. Low, high, lower low, higher high. Following that logic, we should see London's sell side to be taken. 4 hour time frame, yep, just Wick City. We have a 4 hour bearish fair value gap. All the 4 hour candles so far today have been dojis. So really not the best trading conditions right now. You don't want to trade inside of a range. You would like to trade when there's a trend, jumping on fair value gaps while the trend is existent. Yesterday on Discord or during the live stream, let's see, we had a little game that we played where we guessed the closing price for the day. I betted 4,300 and I was the closest one. Had the best bet, basically. So if you guess today's closing price and your bet is better than mine, you will win a 3-week worth of VIP membership. Today we're just gonna chill. I don't feel in a hurry to execute really while we're in this range. We failed on holding this bullish fair value gap, but this is all internal, so hard to tell. 1 minute. Did we sweep buy side? No, we did not really. We just hit the VWAP again. One push, 2 push, 3 push. And there we go. That's why we close once we see that price is not respecting the discounts it's leaving behind. Ideally, we were looking for a market structure shift after we sweep external liquidity like we did here this morning. But we patiently waited for a confirmation. So I always like to see a close above the market structure shift level. Here we failed to make a lower low. And then I prefer just to see more than a wick. If that wick is enough for you and you like to enter on this bullish fair value gap, that's cool. I would like to see the close confirmation, a close above it. So a confirmation that we did not sweep, leaving behind a little bullish fair value gap. I entered with some contracts on right here, securing at the Asian buy side, just a quick scalp. Market didn't offer anything more. Once we went above, we immediately rejected without giving a proper model reversal setup. Made a lower low. Here we shifted structure. Let's see what we do now after hitting this bullish fair value gap again. But very similar to what we saw yesterday in the morning. all we did was consolidate, take lows, take highs, until we had power speaking at 12. Then we really had some major volatility. Yet the 2022 model for the AM session played out perfectly. We talked about that on stream. We had our market structure shift. We had our bearish fair value gap paired with it. After running out the London buy side, reversed for a easy 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 risk reward trade. Now we want to see if we can close below this bullish fair value gap. That would really confirm the bearish bias. To maybe run out the sell side liquidity down here. Getting rid of these middle lines. I'm glad they added them, but yeah, I don't know. I'm used to not see those middle lines. Have trained my eye not seeing that. So let me quickly check if we have any news. And guys, if you have any questions here on YouTube, feel free to ask me. Forex Factory, nope, no news today on Friday. Make sure also to give the stream a like. That would really mean a lot to me. So more people can watch it. So we took a short-term high. This could be an internal model. We will see. For the confirmation, like I said, we would like to see the close below here. Look for a retracement for the continuation lower. But the first thing that we have to break through is this bullish fair value gap. Because this could also simply become a little stop hunt and still continue higher. There we go, we swept this low. And we were able to tell that the long is likely not going to play. Hang on 1 second. And we were able to tell that the long is likely not going to play out once we close below this first bullish fair value gap. And we continued lower, lower, lower. No point to place a stop loss all the way down here if the odds are already not in your favor. And we keep on collapsing. Last 30 seconds here. Check the higher time frames here quickly. 1 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame. 1 minute. Aggressive sell-off. Let's see if we cannot get in with this momentum. Trying to get in now on the inversion. If we just continue to collapse, we're fine as well. Rejected from the previous week's low. I think clear buy side and premium. This is our higher bearish fair value gap. We swept this low and immediately pulled back. We have equal low sell side down here. You can also tell that, yeah, overall the VWAP, all it did today was consolidate. It never really expanded away from the median line. If we'd say that's the median line, we went below, above. Nothing major here. Aligns with the overall seek and destroy template. We start from the Asia low to the Asia high. We sweep the low. We sweep the high. And once we sweep it, hang on, we immediately come back. We pause for a second, pull back, but eventually for the overall seek and destroy pattern, we would target the London sell side liquidity. 1 minute time frame, took out this low. We have an old bullish fair value gap down here on the 1 minute. Let's see, we have a 5-point stop. We have this inversion fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap, and this inversion here to hold support and paired with the midnight level. If we now get a new bearish fair value gap, we could use that because we have our market structure shift confirmed. Right here, initially, we shifted to the upside. We formed a low, lower high, lower low, and a higher high, higher low, higher high. Now we immediately went back to form a lower low. So right now for the short-term trend, we're in a bearish market structure. If this candle is going to close, leaving behind a bearish fair value gap, this could be a internal 2022 mentorship model, where we sweep a high shift structure at this place and leave behind this bearish fair value gap. Potentially. Only 3 likes. We can do better. So now we have a fractal high. I'm really looking for shorts on EU here today. I would be a fan of us not clearing that sell side liquidity before we get a potential entry. If we do, we just very likely gonna sell off rather quickly into this London sell side. The VWAP won't be very helpful today, so we get rid of all the lines that are not really necessary anymore. Trying to keep the chart as clean as we possibly can. 500 bearish fair value gap, we rejected from that. Buy set above all these highs. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Potential for a inverted head and shoulder setup here at the low. But yeah, come on. Can only frame that on very low time frames. See if we can clear this low. Nah. We don't have news today. We are at the low of the week, low of the day. Let's see what's going to happen. Alright, we have our bearish fair value gap now paired with the breaker block. Everything's internal here, so if we get in, that would be my stop loss. But looks like we're just aggressively selling off. In that case, I won't enter here. Now we have equal lows. Where do we have the 50%? So I would prefer an entry on that retracement. Stop loss goes above this high, and we target sell side. Check out the 15 minute, rejected, close now as well, and a displacement on the 15-minute time frame as well. High, low, higher high, lower low, potentially with a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Not confirmed yet, we still have to wait 8.5 minutes for this fair value gap to be confirmed. Still didn't clear it. Good morning, Agent Smith. How has been your trading week? You ended up in profit on all your accounts, or? Busted. Yeah, initially I started very well, but on Wednesday I lost it a little, and I thought I'm able to make my losses back. Stupid thinking. And yeah, well, you should never allow yourself doing that. It's gambling. Stick to your model, stick to your strategy, and if you lose, accept it. It's part of it. Yeah, same for me, just being honest. It's trading. Nothing to hide from. So we swept the slow right here. Now for me, for the Apex funded account, it's using micros for now. The Euro strategy account is up 500 this week. That's fine. I think I only took 3 trades overall on that account. Yeah, 3 trades. That was the winning trade we took on Wednesday. Right here, the short. Going pretty good. Can't complain about that. For a 15-minute time frame strategy. It's not the quickest, so if you're not patient, yeah, likely won't work out for you. I will talk about it more once I manage to pass a funded account with it. Alright, and we're dropping. No real opportunity for an entry. No inversion fair value gap, we just went lower and lower and lower. We didn't retest the breaker block right here. And I'm not someone that's jumping in with price with a good gut feeling that it's going lower. I'd like to always get in on a pullback. And sometimes you miss out, yeah, but it's more important to stick to your rules. In terms of market structure, it's going to get really tough for a displacement or a market structure shift once we sweep. This is our lowest 1 hour bearish bullish fair value gap before we head towards the NFP low from last week and the low of the month. Last level of defense. And there goes London sell side. How did we deliver into it? We opened up with a bearish volume imbalance. We retested the closing price. And we went lower to hit London sell side liquidity. Middle, center. Alright, that has been taken. close below that, so this one now becomes a inversion fair value gap. Not chasing it or anything here. Sweeping external liquidity. Sweep 7:45, 8 a.m. The seek and destroy pattern here continues. Low, high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Of course, we wouldn't expect it to continue the entire day. Eventually, we're gonna break away from it and continue into one specific direction. Usually the higher time frame can help us here. We have this is the previous week's opening gap. Let me hide and clear up my order book here. Object tree, sorry. Put all that into a group and hide it. Previous week's low has been taken. Wednesday's high fell short. Market structure shift. We came back up into our 4-hour breaker block. I think we did. Yes, we hit that breaker block. Higher high, lower low. Lowest down closing candle breaker block. We hit that on Thursday. Continued lower thereafter. Bearish fair value gap here on the 4-hour time frame. We've hit that after consolidating for 4, 8, 12 hours. Now we're expanding lower to the downside, so that first sell side liquidity target afterwards would be down here. If we look at the daily, we had a daily bullish market structure shift, but that might have just been it. A little fake out, really, to eventually continue lower and make a new low for the month of October. Targets are downside, really. Not sure if we're gonna hit them. Let's see how many points we're away from that. 4283 is where we're sitting at right now. 40 points, that's realistic. We have some sell side liquidity, but that's only sell side on a 5-minute time frame. For the higher time frames, the ruling time frames, these lows don't matter. If we look at the 1, that's the first major low that we're looking at, and that's the 1-hour fair value gap I spoke about. So if I look at my object tree and turn on this one right here, the lowest fair value gap before we hit major sell side liquidity. And now that we have hit the sell side, I'm not really interested in a pullback continuation lower, because this is a internal 2022 model. We shift structure, leave behind a fair value gap, but yet never end up filling it. If we would have taken this high right here, then different story, but we didn't, so that's settled. Once we sweep the low, we immediately get our pullback back inside of our range. Get rid of that, that's our inversion. overlapping with a new bearish fair value gap. It's the 8:30 opening. So we use that open and drag it out, label it as our 8:30 open, power of 3. Yes, we could potentially get an entry from here, but to target lower prices, which is also likely going to play out. But with the overall conditions of the seek and destroy behavior we had today, we could easily simply shoot through this and retrace up higher. So the stop loss and risk to reward ratio wouldn't be really lucrative. We can check the 1 minute if we have some structure. Now we only consolidated here. This is not really a displacement for me. What would be interesting if we start to close above this bearish fair value gap, we could use it as support to deliver into higher discounts. If we look at the current range, 50% would deliver us into this bearish fair value gap. And this is our entire day dealing range from high to low, London high, to the low that we just formed. 50% lines up with our previous day's low, this orange line, and this purple line is our previous week's low. Until then, patience, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And make sure to hit that like button so the stream becomes more, the YouTube algorithm likes it. More exposure. Alright, so we hit the consequent encouragement of this bearish fair value gap. One minute time frame. 15-minute time frame. We didn't close below. New 15-minute candle, 8:30. Starts to retrace. This would be our 15-minute inversion fair value gap. Initially kept holding support here. Continued lower. Check out the hourly. Took sell side. Let's look at the daily. Weekly is pretty bearish, so we could see the potential for a thank God it's Friday setup. But I think that will only present itself during the PM session. 20 seconds to go. And yes, like we said, we could use this fair value gap overlapping with the inversion to maybe target the consequent encouragement of this 1 hour bullish fair value gap, but risk to reward ratio wise, not ideal. Shorting at the low of the current day, also not the best thing to do. You'd like to get in a long at the current low of the day. In terms for a high probability trade, you'd have to cover a lot. You're also shorting. If we look at our current price lag from high to low, you're shorting in a discount, in a premium to go lower. You want to get shorts and up here for an optimized risk to reward ratio and higher probability trades. Doesn't mean this is not going to work. That's beauty of probabilities, but not worth it for me and my funded account. It's 8:30 now. Let's see what this 15-minute candle is going to do. We have a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. That's overlapping perfectly with the 5-minute. So we can see how that's a multi-time frame fair value gap. Already start to push. Close above here. No. Inversion fair value gap. %, retracement, 1 minute time frame. We will see. We have London buy side remaining. To frame a market structure shift, I don't think that will really be possible, because our most recent high that we have left behind would be this one, and we just sold off. So for a market structure shift to happen, we either have to make a lower low, and then we displace, retrace, and continue to London buy side, or we have to break this high like this. Then we would have a displacement to also continue higher. But I'm not sure if that's really likely. But if you get in a short from this 15-minute bearish, something like this, to target this consequent encouragement, this would be a better risk-reward ratio. Get in above the 50% of this range that we have put in place. Get short off here, continue lower. We just swept external sell-side liquidity, so we can expect a pullback. But keep in mind that all we did today was seek and destroy. Low, high, lower low, higher high, lower low. What would we expect to happen now? If we continue with the seek and destroy, it's a higher high. Five-point stop loss. No. Let's see. I'm quickly going to the bathroom. I will be back in a couple of minutes. Not in a hurry today. Let's see. Yes, that's true. Lots of failure swings. We have plenty of buy side left behind. Here, especially from Wednesday, after we put in this pump and dump high on Tuesday. Left all the buy side behind, Asia buy side, London buy side, AM session buy side, PM session buy side. And then on Thursday, all we did was stay below the 50% of Tuesday's range. We retraced into that for our breakup block, like we said. Here on Thursday, pushed up with the news event displaced right here. Filled the highest 1 minute bearish fair value gap, so this was a valid model. You would just have to use micros with that if you enter on that 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Target a nice 2-to-1 risk to reward, or the previous week's low. We mentioned that on the Discord. Yes, you would have to suffer some drawdown, but setup played out. That's all we really care about. You would just have to use proper risk management with micros. You can't take that trade with minis. 25 points, that's a lot, maybe with a 250k account. But thank God for being able to use micros. What's happening here with my mic? There we go. All right, I will be back in no time. We closed right at the high, so I would expect this higher fair value gap here to be retraced into. 50% lines up with that. But yet we could also just fail here. If we take a quick look at NQ, NQ didn't sweep the low. That's still in place. 8:30 opened up and we immediately get up closing candles. But we could try 5-point stop to the midnight level. We're right between 8:30 open and midnight. Hmm. One minute time frame. I leave it on until I'm back from the bathroom, and then we will see. Paper trade idea. All right, we are back. So now we close above the bearish fair value gap. We retested it. Now it's an inversion. This is all just messy. Not really interested in any of it right now. Check the 15. Yeah, no, not for me today. Just because of the tendency of what we did once we sweep sell side today. We swept it. Yeah, we could continue lower maybe because NQ didn't. But we could also just see SMT divergence, so not worth the risk to me. But we can keep this as a paper trade idea, a short of this 5-15-minute fair value gap. Stop loss above the midnight level, target this one right here. Anyone in a trade right now? Yeah, kind of. If we're being honest, yesterday we also looked like, if I go back to yesterday on the 1 hour time frame, before the New York Open right here, we had our 1 hour market structure shift. Right here, bullish fair value gap, but then we came back all the way down into here. Had the news candle. Yeah, no, market just didn't really present anything clean. And today that range is even much smaller. I wouldn't expect much from today if you have made some profits this week. I think the smartest thing that you can possibly do is to secure your profits. If you want to trade, maybe risk less, use micro contracts. And even if you haven't made many profits, I'd say it's a smarter choice not to make it worse, really. And just be there next week. NQ took the high, same break of structure, but didn't clear the low. That's the only thing what would interest me in a continuation short. 1 hour time frame though doesn't look really nice because of this rejection wick. We have 10 minutes on the clock here on the hourly. We hit the 15-minute bearish. We have SMT with NQ. We keep that in mind. NQ didn't make that lower low. But I would personally like an entry up higher. If we look at our current price lag, 50%. We just hit the 50% level. Like I said, we have our paper trade idea, but yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Sure that we will see a better setup throughout the entire New York AM session. I have no doubt. Yeah, I'm also waiting for the New York Open. Can't do anything wrong. Long. Nope. Good morning, Azinov. Because yesterday the house won. Yesterday we had a little giveaway for a 3-week VIP membership for the Discord server. We had a little guess or gamble of where price is going to close on Thursday. I said 4,300, and we had two other participants or three other participants, but I had the closest, hang on, entry, I think, here down in the general chat. And I think we will just do the exact same thing today. So yesterday, where is it? 4,300. Yes, closing price. Mr. D said 4,355. As you know, if you were close, but I was closer. So we do the exact same thing today. Closing price for today. I will accept entries up until 11 a.m. because that's going to be the end for my live stream. So if you want to participate to win a free week VIP membership for the Discord server, to watch these live streams without ads and without any delays, and also to get access to my trade ideas on a weekly outlook and all that stuff, the VIP indicators like the higher time frame candles, the multi-time frame volume imbalances, standard deviations, then yeah, guess today's closing price and win against me and the other VIP members. Let me see. I will do that off stream. At 11 a.m. But entries are only valid until 11 a.m. New York time. 5 minutes later than that, I won't accept it. Really simple. All you have to do is join us on Discord. Right here, if you go into the live stream settings or video description, you should be able to see the link to the Discord server. Join that and head over into the general chat and see if luck's on your side today. Hmm. 0.5, 1 standard deviation, 1.1, 1.5. Really screwed here. Previous day's range, 50% lines up almost perfectly with the consequent encouragement. Measuring from low to high. 850, 855. So with that next 5-minute candle, we have a new hourly opening. So far, we are rejecting from our 15-minute bearish fair value gap, with the possibility to continue lower from there. It's a fractal 2022 model with internal liquidity where we sweep the high, we displace and shift structure, leave behind a bearish fair value gap on both the 5 and 15-minute time frame, and continue lower. What I don't like about the setup is that we already hit the target that I was looking for, London sell side liquidity. So I don't execute on that opportunity. Friday. Inversion fair value gap. Tiny little bullish one. Paired with this inversion after we swept the London sell side. and overall seek and destroy after the sell-off we had yesterday. At the same time, Bitcoin is going up. That's interesting. Bitcoin almost hit 30K. That's what we would expect if we continue the seek and destroy formation. Run out some buy side. Low, high, higher low, higher high. Yeah. Not happening for me. You're long on the ass. I wish you the best. But look at the hourly. Yes, the potential is there. In 1 minute we get a new hourly candle. Look at the 4-hour chart. Ugh. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. No. As traders, we really have to pick our battles. And seeing these conditions, I'd say it's smarter to live on to trade another day. Like, for example, next week. Or at least to sit on your hands until we get a good setup with not super high, but with higher confluence. Let's take a look at YM. YM also made the lower low, took the high. FX futures, NQ. NQ didn't take the low yet. It's the only thing that still kind of leads me for lower prices. Let's look at oil. Strong run yesterday and also in some sort of a seek and destroy formation here. Let's look at gold. Yeah, similar across most of the markets. High, low, high, low, high, low. What's new trading view? Boring. And let me take a look at Bitcoin. So we run out the 30K high that we have made right here. Once we run out this high on a 5-minute time frame, nice doji candle, we shift market structure and we sell off. Fair value gap entry right here. Yeah, I don't know. There are some traders out there pretending to use ICT-Concepts and all that stuff on Bitcoin, but I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think the best approach you can do with crypto is buy and hold. Buy cheap, sell high, or sell when it's expensive again, and don't buy when it's expensive or at a all-time high or on the run up to the all-time high. That's when most people lose their money. Don't do that mistake, and you should be fine, really. That's how I've been handling crypto ever since. Trying to trade it, you're just going against whales, putting in 500 Bitcoin orders short at a specific price level, You can do all the TA and stuff that you want. You won't see that coming. They put it in, or they buy it up to that price level. Yeah. Buying the dips. Hold on. Something's wrong with my headphones. Working again? No. Yeah? No. What's happening? Better? No. Anyway. I hope you guys can still hear me. Alright, so we bounced off the bullish fair value gap paired with the inversion. Now we're inside that 15 with the new hourly candle here at 9 a.m. If we continue the seek and destroy profile, we should see buy side to be run. If not, we continue lower with NQ to clean the low that we have put in place before 8:30. That's mad. Come on. What's going on? Alright, so we hit the 50% here. Euro US dollar alerts are set. 15-minute time frame. So we would be filled on our paper trade idea like we spoke about. Target the consequent encouragement of this 1 hour fair value gap if we continue lower. But let's see what the hourly closed like. A nice close down low compared to all the other ones here. But we've seen that before. Every time we made a lower close on the hourly today. So yeah, it's fair to say that we might be better off until the New York Open. What's going on with my fucking headset? Doesn't matter. I said that before, but NQ. I think until then I'm just trying to do a little test here. We swept the low right here. This was the Asia short. Yesterday we had this short of this bearish fair value gap after sweeping the high. Here we swept the low, testing the 2022 model system. Here on ES by just sticking to a simple 5-minute time frame, not making it super complicated. Right, we took the low right here. But we didn't really had a nice clean market structure shift, so I don't count this as a valid setup. We cleared the London high, we closed below, left behind a bearish fair value gap. Stop loss always at the high, target a 2 or 3 to 1 risk to reward. Done. And theoretically here as well, but we already took one there. So then that's PM session for Wednesday. Let's look at the AM session. We cleared the low. right here. Low, low. We didn't sweep liquidity here. We continued lower, making a new lower low. Messy. Not a fan of it, but eventually we close above, leaving behind a fair value gap. So I'd say this would be a losing trade right here. Bullish fair value gap. But not ideal. Gonna leave this one out and annotate it. Let's keep an eye on ES here. Let's look at the London session. So Asia opens up. We already have a model long during Asia, lower low, market structure shift. But then eventually we run out the Asia buy side right here. This placement happens on the 5-minute time frame once we form a high, low, lower high, lower low, higher high. So we'd really have to wait for this low to be breached. Could have already... No, we didn't close below it. We closed below it right here. So no entry possibilities here before the London Open, and we just sold off. And then we swept the Asian sell side liquidity pool. No, still nothing. We swept the Asian sell side. We closed above, but we never really came back into a fair value gap. Neither did we leave behind a new one. This is the bullish fair value gap, but we really didn't close above. And that's kind of the criteria for me to see the confirmation close above. I will have to test it if it's necessary or not. Maybe a wick is enough. So no entry right here. A high. Now we didn't sweep any new liquidity. Poor day. Okay, let's go over to Tuesday. Start with the London session. So we sweep the low. We have a break-in structure right here. A clear one. And we leave behind a bullish fair value gap. Leave behind another bullish fair value gap right here. We never made it to the Asian session high. So no reason to go in short during the London session either. After we have this market structure shift, we didn't sweep external. We just failed to go up there. Entry. Could also look at this as our market structure shift, the most recent high that delivered into the sell side of Asia. Entry of this bullish fair value gap. Stop loss at the low. Target a 2-1. Ending up in a losing trade. We took this trade on the live stream. Let's check. Still playing around. Stuck between two PD arrays. Really, I think, gun to my head, I think we should continue lower with NQ not having taken the London sell side. But being in the seek and destroy profile the entire day with the equities opening coming up in 20 minutes, not worth the risk. Alright, the New York session, we clear the low, we shift structure for the first time. So right here it actually protected us because we never closed above our most recent swing point. But then we closed above, had our market structure shift, and only filled that highest fair value gap right here. Never came back into that low fair value gap down here. Depending on how you manage your risk, I'd like to get in at least on this bullish fair value gap, so that didn't play. We took the high. PM session, no entrance. One loss during London. Asia session, PM session, London session on Monday. Friday, PM session. That's the Asian session high. And the Asian session low. We clear the high, but because the 5-minute time frame really doesn't offer a lot of structure here, just a pump to the upside. No opportunity for us to catch a short until we shift structure. But that didn't really play. We take Asia sell side. We hit the new week opening gap. Low, higher, lower high, lower low. We displace, we close above, so now we start to look for fair value gaps. Right here, below the structure shift, and we have one down here. I took this trade, I remember now. Entry of the 50% or the high. Stop loss at the low, target buy side, or at least a 2-to-1. Perfect. And we continued to rally during New York. Cleared the London session high, but no confirmed market structure shift with a candle close. Low, higher high. Outside of the kill zone anyway. Let's see at what time this entry did happen. At 6 a.m. Now also too late, but let's just keep on going here. 4290. We're still consolidating. Not really missing out on much. We wait until New York opens up. Until then, it's a little backtesting session for the 2022 model. Alright, Friday, Asia session high. We did not sweep the low, but we swept the high. We formed a high, low, higher high. We swept liquidity here. This is not a market structure shift. That's why we have the rule. It has to close below. Higher high, higher low, higher high, and we swept the high. So right here we have our confirmed break in structure. A 5-minute bearish fair value gap right here, but we never got into it. We only hit the breaker block. Lowest 2 down closing candles. This becomes our breaker block. So in this example, we could have only entered off the breaker block for a short. Oh, come on. Get rid of that stupid midline. So I like that I added it, but I'm almost not the biggest fan of it. Alright, short position of the breaker block PD array. Stop loss at the swing high. Target a 2-to-1. 3-to-1 would have played out here as well. Let's keep that off track. And then later on add it to the journal to see what works and what does not work. Alright, we had the short, and then during the New York session, we took the London session high. We formed a high, low, higher high, higher low, but we failed to break to make a higher high, and then we had a market structure shift right here. If we wait for this one to be broken right here, but we do not leave behind a bearish fair value gap here on the 5-minute time frame. Depending what we define as our breaker block, really, it would be those 2 down closing candles, because we form a high, a higher low, and a higher high, a higher low, but a lower high. So up here, this down closing candle would be our mitigation block. Because we failed to break this higher high. We keep on pushing through, getting held up. So once again, a breaker block entry possible. 1020, that's inside the kill zone. 15-point stop loss. Had to use micros with that for a 2-to-1 until London. Almost. Clean. Nice trading day. Alright, Asian session for Thursday. We clear the high, make a higher high. The kill zone starts at 2 AM for me. So I do not count the structure shift. For my high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Counting this as my market structure shift here. We leave behind a bearish fair value gap. But we never get into it. Breaker block wouldn't be clean on this structure, so we also shift structure here. And we keep on holding this one. Stop loss at the high, target Asian sell side. We never hit a 2-to-1 risk to reward. We only hit a 1.5. Up to the trader if he wants to move his stop loss to break even after a given risk to reward. Otherwise, it would have been a losing trade. But also not really the cleanest entry. Breaker block 1. Bearish fair value gap. At least here on a 5-minute time frame. Then during New York, we swept the London session high. Right here, right with the 8:10 AM candle. Still not missing anything. 11 minutes until the New York Open, so I will simply continue. We displace. We leave behind a nice 8:30 bearish fair value gap. If we enter right at the low here, my stop loss above this high. Because the stop loss is so big, the easiest thing to do is simply go for a lower risk to reward ratio. 2-to-1 risk to reward. Would have come back to our break-even level, depending on how you do your risk management. Target the previous day slow for a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Played out even though we had such a big stop loss. Could also modify it and say you want your stop loss to be above the fair value gap that you enter on. And a 2-to-1 would have been hit even before this pullback. So now we close above this bearish fair value gap. Did we also do it on the 15? Now we still have to wait for the New York Open there. Pushing back against the previous day slow. But right now we're really looking like we want to take out this London buy side at 4304. Where are we at? We traded this day. That's the PM run. Asia session. We sweep the low. Same process every time. Asia low swept. Low, lower high, lower low. We just place above the high. Are we in the kill zone? Yep. We leave behind a bullish fair value gap, paired with a breaker block being this highest up closing candle. Bullish fair value gap. Entry on that bullish fair value gap. Stop loss isn't too big. Target a 2-to-1. During London, that's fine. 10 points. Done and dusted. And then during New York, we took the high. We formed a low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We shifted structure right here on the 5 minute with a confirmation close below, leaving behind a nice setup with a bearish fair value gap right here, overlapping with our lowest down closing candle and as our breaker block. Could also look at these 3 down closing candles, but I like to keep them smaller. Bearish fair value gap entry right here. Stop loss. Theoretically this high. We could also look at this high. All up to you and your back testing, and then we could target London sell side for a 1.6 with a minimum risk reward of 2 to 1. We would still be fine and hit our take profit target. Even a 3 to 1 would have been hit to the tick. But 2 to 1 is good enough. Alright, PM session. I don't trade the PM session. Got better things to do with my life. We close above, we use it as support now, so this becomes a inversion fair value gap, and we push. The SMT divergence with NQ is holding up. It's 9:20 AM and we're already pushing. Last 1 minute candle. It's the highest bearish fair value gap before we clear this. Buy side liquidity. That's crap. Asia. Yeah, we're done with that day. Asia, we clear the low. We break in structure right here. Low, higher, high. Do we leave behind a fair value gap down here? These 3 candles could really become our breaker block. I look at the highest one. Breaker block paired with a bullish fair value gap down here. We close above right here. We would have gotten filled right here with our stop loss. Like always at the low or this low. I like to give it some breathing room. Target at least the Asian session high or simply a 2 to 1. Done. Not clean, but done. Then did we sweep? No, we left equal lows here, so we're not looking for a potential long. Let's compare lows. And we did not sweep. We left equal lows behind here on Tuesday the 10th. I remember that. It would have been a nice model long. Clear the high, don't get a bearish market structure shift. Till we close. Yeah, but that's too late in the session. Let's see what price is doing. So we rejected from that highest bearish fair value gap paired with this inversion. But really we would expect to see support here now. In 3.5 minutes we get the New York Open. Then we won't know much more. Until then, let's try to get some more testing. Then we've almost done the entire month October. We're still in seek and destroy conditions, which is not in our favor. Asia session high, Asia session low. We sweep that low. We shift in structure with a bullish fair value gap, an old one down here, and a breaker block up here. Low, higher, high. Yep. we shifted once we closed above it, so right here, so we don't really get an entry there. And then we swept a high. That's already outside of the kill zone, so not interesting. Now we swept a London session high. And we got a bearish market structure shift on this candle. A break-in structure at least. We failed to make a higher high, so this would be our mitigation. Setup with a bearish fair value gap. This would have simply been a loss. But I think now it's time to skip the backtesting and take a look at live price action. Alright, my alert is set for EU shorts. We kept on holding support, once again from the inversion fair value gap. Right now we're being held up by the midnight open. Following seek and destroy protocol, that's for sure. So far today, .45 seconds until the equities open. Already above the 50%. But without getting clean, yeah, like we spoke about the entire time, 2022 model setups. We got one during London, but we only closed above it on this candle, leaving behind a bullish fair value gap to run into Asia buy side. Let's see, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, open. We close right on that midnight level and close above this bearish fair value gap. Turning the next bearish fair value gap into an inversion fair value gap. No new questions. Good morning or good afternoon, Fresky. NQ SMT at the bottom in the center. Take a look at NQ. NQ swept us high and rejected. YM also swept a high and rejected initially at the open. NQ didn't sweep the London low here at 2 AM. So right here we have bearish SMT. Let's see, maybe wait until 10 AM. Right now, everything other than a turtle soup. Once we sweep sell or buy side liquidity inside the seek and destroy setup or consolidation. Didn't really work well. Maybe inversion fair value gaps once we take it out, but bullish fair value gap, inversion, continuation lower. Took the low, bearish fair value gap, flipped into inversion, kept holding support. Yeah. And Q looks a little bit more bearish here compared to ES. YM already pumping. Maybe NQ is simply out to also catch these lows before going up. DXY is looking... I want to check it out on a daily. Let's get an overall bias. So we had this daily bullish fair value gap. We reacted from it. We had this daily bullish candle on Wednesday, but we never really made it above this buy side here, above the previous week's high, really, or Friday's high. Neither did we go above the previous Friday's high, and we rejected, retesting the bullish fair value gap. Also, yeah, kind of stuck in a range. Here on the daily, ES, 5 minute. Yep, YM is going for it. About to take the London session high. NQ closed ES. Let's see how ES closed. Back below the inversion. But yeah, price action hasn't been the cleanest today. Check out the 1 minute. Hit midnight, didn't even close above the midnight on the 1 minute. Higher high. Yeah, nah, just messy. YM should have already taken the high. No, it fell short of it. Left perfect equal highs there at 33559. Alright, we're pushing, we're above the midnight on this 5 minute candle here on the S&P. Took the high, took the low. No. 2.5 minutes before this candle is going to close. The 15-minute is looking rather bullish. Not leaving behind a new inefficiency. We already retraced to rebalance this previous 9:15 a.m. bullish candle. And like we spoke about here on the hourly chart earlier, at the beginning of the stream, every time we made that lower low, close, we pushed back up, close lower, push back up, we close lower, push back up. Terrible hourly chart, even on the 4-hour so far. Not really what you would want to trade. See if NQ is following along here. Yep, almost made back that entire retracement or this entire dump, but didn't really sweep major sell side. We still have that bullish SMT divergence with ES. 1 minute, 5 minute. Let's see if we can close this time above the midnight level. Ten seconds to go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, we didn't make it above the New York midnight. And now with a delayed push, 940. It's just messy. If we look at it on 1, and good luck trading that. Now we have equal highs here, and once again we hit that previous week's low and rejected from it. Bumping into it and rejecting. We want to see a confirmation close, and ideally something like a, well, if we sweep London buy side, I personally will only be looking for some sort of a reversal setup until 11 a.m. to continue even lower. Or this could be the potential low of the week formation and we start to retrace back into our entire weekly range, with the current high of this week being Wednesday's high. Alright, so now we broke above the previous week's low. Let's see if we can close above it too. 15-minute. Looking bullish. Check out the other charts. NQ. Made it back above this high as well. Strong push. With the bullish SMT divergence here. YM should have made it as well. Strong rejection here, but should make that push. Let's see, we keep an eye on it. Now we hit that highest bearish fair value gap before we reach into London buy side liquidity. No, nothing on my euro setup yet. Smoker, what's the worst drawdown you've been in? Ooh, the worst drawdown? I'd say based on the entire account balance with the Apex funded account, 2,500 max drawdown, I'd say around 1,500. But yeah, the worst drawdown is the ones that blow the account. Why do you stop using your indicator? I'm not sure which indicator you're referring to. If you're talking about the Scalper Pro, I didn't stop using the indicator. Not at all. I'm still using it, but only during the London session. You should check it out on Discord. But for the New York sessions, it's ICT-Concepts for me. Still got our indicators. But most of the time it's, clean candles, only price action based on fair value gaps, some important reference levels, and a specific model. And once again, we fail to close above the midnight level. Didn't really sweep external, so I'm still not looking for the short yet. See that? Check out NQ. Nope, didn't make it above that high either. YM failed, did it? Let's see. Yeah, perfect equal highs. I hope that answered your question, Smoker. Alright, let's see. We took buy side, but not the London session buy side. So no entrance for me here. But because for the sake of the live stream, if we look at the 1 minute to also get some action here, we would see, or we would have a internal 2022 model. We took buy side. This was our most recent higher high. We shifted structure, and with a close, we now have a bearish fair value gap right here. So if that's good enough for you, paired with the midnight level, this would be a area to short from. It's not a short for me. I would have liked to see the London buy side pull to be ran out first. But as some sort of a paper trade idea, entry on the midnight level or this bearish fair value gap, stop loss above the high, 5.5 points. Target some sell side liquidity, internal right here, 10 points. Maybe the swing low, 15 points. Healthy risk reward ratio. But keep in mind we didn't hit the external. That's why I would deem it a lower probability setup. This could be another stop hunt one more time to make that final push above. Yes, being not really kind this morning. Did NQ? No, still didn't. Let's see how this 1 minute setup plays out. We already filled in the entire inefficiency. We open with a volume imbalance above the midnight level, the dashed line, but we're still stuck in between previous week's low and previous day's low. Yeah, we seem to be closing above. Like we spoke about once we started the live stream at 8 a.m. Choose your battles or your trading days wisely. Seek and destroy throughout the entire day. Not really nice to trade that. Means you can get stopped out easily unless you do like turtle soup entries where you go long once we take out sell side and short once we take out buy side. Could have been anticipated, sort of. We had a big expansion already this week. Now we're at the low of the week doing this. Seek and destroy could lead to a potential pop back into our weekly range, like we spoke about, after selling off. On a daily, we've hit the lowest 1 hour bullish fair value gap after a daily bullish market structure shift around the 80% retracement. If we make a ICT fib retracement out of this, we formed this seek and destroy pattern right around the optimum trade entry level of our daily displacement, measuring from this high all the way to this low, the October low. Good reason to believe we could get a pullback back inside of our weekly range from around this area. So now we got our first 5 minute close above the midnight. But once again, we bump into the previous week's low and we reject. We'd still be in our 1 minute time frame short. It's playing with our nerves, testing us if we're strong enough to hold on to this trade, but still playing out. That would be the first sell side target, 5 points. With 10 points, we would almost hit this low. This would be the low from around 8:30. Take a quick look at NQ here. NQ made a higher high, but failed to break above the London session high as well. Same goes for YM. Alright, we took out our 9:30 low so far. After bearish fair value gap, after the market structure shift. Right here. But so far this has been a tiny little fractal seek and destroy. Take out the high, take out a low, form a new high, take out the low, push back up, fail to take out the high, take out the low. Nah. I hope no one got chopped up or blown their account based on that. Nope, nope, nope. 1 minute time frame. We have a new bearish fair value gap. So if you took that short idea, I'd like to see this high to be respected now. Trail my stop loss kind of. And like to see a close below this low right here. For the possible continuation lower. There we go. Touch this bearish fair value gap one more time. Initial entry came from our fair value gap right here. Without sweeping external, that's the only thing that would have been required for me to actually execute. That's okay though. Let's check out NQ. Make sure to book some partials if you've gotten into that trade. NQ made a higher high here, so we have SMT divergence right here as well at the highs. NQ pushed above this high. This place, leaving behind a bearish fair value gap right here. We got our entry much earlier. Hope you booked some profits. We ran almost 9 points, almost 10. Getting in from that midnight entry, and we immediately push back up. That price action. Ran out this high one more time. A quick retracement of 8 points. We're still being in this choppy price action right here. No, I have to wait for this high to be run out to engage on EU. NQ. Yeah. I know. Not really the biggest fan of seek and destroy conditions. Let's see what we get at 10 AM with our new hourly candle. Right now, this hourly candle took out the high of the previous 2 hourly candles right here, and even a 5 AM high. Would have liked to see London buy side to be hit, but trading this range, it's more like roulette. Gotta get lucky gambling. Higher, lower, higher, lower. Maybe with a high probability guess, but I think wouldn't be any more with that, any more than that. So in 2 or 3 minutes, we also get a new 4-hour candle close. Would be more important on how the 4-hour candle is closing if we get another doji. And we only had dojis today. Kind of sad. 5 minute, 15.1. Did anyone engage already? Or maybe taken a short after the equities open? Curious to know. Five minute, we keep on going lower. Nice. Yeah, that's the issue. But I hope it gets back up. I think it could. Right now it's just choppy PA. Everything's possible here. NQ. No, YM. ES. 15 seconds until we get our new 4-hour candle. Let's watch the 4-hour time frame. Next 4-hour sell side liquidity would really be down here. Still inside the NFP order block. This candle right here. Alright, new 4-hour candle. Open up with a bearish volume imbalance. Right here. Continues with the momentum. 1-hour candle with a huge wick to the upside. Almost no wick to the downside. So like a little pin bar. Our 5 or 1 minute time frame short is still looking good. We hit a 10-point target now. Next sell side liquidity would be the London session low. We could trail that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last candle. Take a look at NQ. Took the low as well. This is not really fun to watch. Don't think I will engage anymore. I still would still have 1 hour left in my timing window to get a potential 2022 model. Yet, not really keen. Got a internal 2022 model, and I've shared the idea, and so far it ran very nice. 12.5 points here on ES. But not an easy one to hold on to here on the 1 minute. Definitely not. Still had SMT divergence here at the highs. 5-minute time frame. No 5-minute bearish fair value gap since New York Open. The 15 also nothing. Just rebalance that previous candle. It's 10 a.m. now. Sweep external, so we couldn't look for a long. Yeah, we'll see. Until then, I sit on my hands. And like we always say during Friday live streams, it's all about capital preservation. Trying not to give away your profits that you have made throughout the week or making the drawdown any worse. What capital? Yeah. Not putting yourself into a worse position if you didn't have the best trading week. And we keep on going lower. Let's see if we can clean this low and Q. Market structure shift, bearish fair value gap. But we did not take out the London buy side, which is essential for me to engage. So pretty lucky he only asked that we didn't get stopped out on our paper trade idea. And Q made that higher high. Fell short of it by almost 2 points. But I guess sometimes we deserve a little bit of luck. So we still haven't left the range that we have put in place from the London high till the 8:30 a.m. low. We're still inside for the equities open. Nothing spectacular here. We do not have a regular trading hours opening gap. Nope, we do not. Yeah, we will see. Unless I get a nice setup, I think I won't engage anymore today. And keep in mind, we have to give away, or this little community giveaway for all the people watching a live stream. Yesterday we had a little guessing game of where ES is going to close at the end of the day. And a couple of people shared their opinion of where ES is going to close right here on Thursday at 16:59. And I predicted that we're gonna close somewhere around the previous week's low. And I actually had to close this prediction. So last time or yesterday, house won. But let's see. You can simply join our Discord server and inside the general chat, share your prediction of where the daily candle for Friday is going to close. Keep in mind that we could see a thank God it's Friday setup. So picking the lowest point likely won't work. And you have time until 11 a.m. Afterwards, I won't count any further entries. To win a win a free VIP membership for the next week. So let me see. I'm gonna look away. We have yesterday's range, horizontal line. Stop. All right, that's gonna be our closing price. 4272.5. I'm gonna send it into the general chat. Mm. 4272.5 is closing price Friday. All right, let's see how that goes. If you have a better guess, then try me. All right, so we hit London sell side liquidity. We already hit the 1 hour our 1 hour consequent encouragement of this 1 hour bullish fair value gap here. So the short ended up playing out perfectly. Secured 16 points here already on this paper trade idea. For me to engage, like said, I would have liked to see this London buy side liquidity to be taken. Like this with a wick maybe, and then displace and go lower. We do not always get what we're asking for. So now we have swept external liquidity after 9:30. Sell side taken. Let's check our other indices for a potential reversal setup. Our market structure shift level would come in right here. No, right here. Unless we keep on making lower lows and lower highs. But nice play. Hope someone caught it. And it was worth the risk to some of the viewers of the live stream. Check out NQ. NQ still didn't break the low. So we only created a set of KYM broke the low. So YYM and ES are forming lower lows here. NQ is forming higher lows, starting from the initial 2 a.m. low. Let me quickly share the link for the Discord server if you want to participate in the giveaway. Copy the link. Yeah, I got it right last time. I think it's fair if I participate and I make the best call, then it's only fair that the house wins. Right, we keep on making a lower low. Let's see what we do inside our lowest 1 hour bullish fair value gap before we head towards the NFP low and the low of the month for October. All right. Seems like we caught the high for the AM session. Just unfortunate that it wasn't taking that London buy side. Yeah, likely no entry here. That session is done, the week's done. Close that account in profit. For 12. 5-minute time frame. 1 hour time frame, what are we looking at? That's the 1 hour bullish fair value gap I'm talking about right here. Took this low of the monthly candle. Let's see what that's looking like on NQ. Low of the month for October, where we have put in place that double bottom formation here. That's the NFP low, Friday, 8 a.m. Buy side of the curve, sell side of the curve. Pretty easy to spot. But NQ now also cleared the London session low, so we do not have any SMT divergence anymore. We could simply keep on dropping, take some sell side, and then during the PM session do the thank God it's Friday setup, where on the weekly candle we will likely get a little rejection wick to the downside. Filled the weekly bearish fair value gap here on NQ. Left behind a rejection wick. This week is trending lower. Target for the weekly would be that sell side. Not sure if we're going to get down to that level today. We potentially could. And then maybe leave behind a little bit of a wick. But I would expect that thank God it's Friday setup to happen during the PM session. Because if you do that during the AM session, yeah, there's still too much time until the market is going to close. Check out ES. October low. Filled the daily bearish fair value gap. Rejected. Now weekly. Continuing lower. 5-minute time frame. 1-minute time frame. Five-minute time frame. Bearish volume imbalance. Yeah. H and Smith, you're still in your long. Reversal setup on the 1 minute. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. But yeah, might be worth a try. 10:15 a.m. We have some internal buy side we could retrace into. It's our most recent low. Market structure shift level therefore would be these equal highs. Bearish fair value gap here on the 1 minute. So for the reversal model, we would like to see bearish order flow to be not respected, close above it, continue higher, shift structure, or simply take out the low one more time, leaving this high in place, and then shift structure from here. But yeah, we could be standing in front of a falling train, a falling rock, trying to stop it, trying to push it back up. Might not work. The only higher time frame POI that we have here, or point of interest, is this 1 hour bullish share value gap. I mean, we already caught the short here into that low, 20 points already. Unfortunately, no execution for me because we didn't sweep the London high. But I'm happy with that. Sticking to the rules is more important than making a quick buck. You are long 5 contracts. Nice, Freshkey. Talking about capital preservation. Yeah. Nah. So now we cleared the low. This would be our new market structure shift level right here, this high. 5-minute time frame. Look what we did right here. Immediate rebalance. So what do I mean by immediate rebalance? We have this push lower right here at 10.10. But instead of leaving behind a bearish fair value gap, what do? This new 10:15 a.m. candle reprices to the low of that 10:05 candle, so we do not leave behind a inefficiency, meaning that this candle has been delivered efficiently. That's why I call that immediate rebalance. Usually a good sign for the continuation of lower prices. And so instead of leaving behind fair value gaps all over the place, the following candle is repricing efficiently and doing a good job at that. So the hourly candle is below that fair value gap, 15-minute. Oh, rather bullish. But we're sort of being held up here. So if we get a nice displacement with a fair value gap, I try it. If not, I'm going on a quick break. How many points is it to the NFP low? 28 points. Standard deviations wise, we just hit the 0.5. -1 would be down here. Any POIs? This is outside liquidity. Closest one before we hit the NFP low here on the 5. One-minute time frame. Take a look at NQ. So right now we have bullish SMT divergence. We can see that NQ fails to make a lower low. YM is forming lower lows, following along with ES, doing exactly the same thing. But NQ is not willing to do that right now. It's holding. keep an eye on that. Fresky, I hope that was a joke that you were long with 5 contracts. I really do. Anyone else so far from all the viewers taking any trades so far today? That paper trade short we spoke about up here from the bearish fair value gap. Well, I will wait for the setup. If we see a nice displacement here, I'd take that. But I would like to see the market structure shift above here. Yeah, if we could really get nibbly, we could say that we formed a lower low here, a lower high and a lower low. So this could potentially be already our market structure shift level, because the new trend on Twitter become or turned out to be that now we start to look at 15 or 5-second time frames. I even saw ICT-Concepts executing on the 1-second time frame. Like, come on, just fuck off. But as long as they get content out, I guess. Hopes and prayers, hopes and prayers. I hope I'm not having any ICT-Concepts fanboys in here, otherwise I will get the shits. But if so, don't care. Whenever. If you think trading on a seconds time frame is something for you, then go for it. Don't think there's anything wrong about it. We cleared a short-term high, but we're not accelerating lower anymore. Let's see or check if NQ made a lower low. Yeah, NQ now also made a lower low. So that SMT divergence hypothesis is gone. Let's measure from our fake out. Most recent displacement from where we got our short entry from earlier, and measure in terms of standard deviations. We hit a 2.5 standard deviation. So if we measure that last, higher low to higher high before we had the market structure shift that delivered into the sell side, measuring that out, -4 standard deviations would get us almost to that sell side liquidity pool. So there's still room to move lower. And it looks like it wants to do that. We have all these equal lows. Yeah, no, we run them out. Could trail the market structure shift to this level now. Lots of time, it's 10:26. Elite has a 60% off discount for Halloween. Use the code SPOOKY. Of all evaluations, excluding the fast track, no tricks, just treats. This price action today, man. Well, at least we caught the short here on stream. One, two, three. Immediate rebalance. 15-minute time frame. It's going to 15-minute candle is going to close in 1.5 minutes. 1 hour time frame closing in 30 minutes. So we're halfway through the SilverBullet hour. 15-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute. We're sort of, hesitating a little to continue lower. So we're either gonna get a little reversal here to stop out some of the shorts that are in the market right now, or we're just gonna collapse. Take a look at NQ. Now I'm also making that continuation lower. Made that higher high, higher low, higher high. Displaced bearish fair value gap, so that's also the 2022 model here, but a internal one because we didn't make it above our point of interest. Didn't get above it. Otherwise, this would have been a clear stay short into the low of the day from this bearish fair value gap here after shifting market structure. But that's up to the trader himself to decide if it's necessary for his, I don't know, for his 2022 model to actually take out the London buy side. I mean, we took out some buy side on our way, but yeah, I think it's just safer to wait for the higher time frame point of interest to be taken before going short. Of course, there's always the odd scenario where we do not take buy side liquidity or hit a higher time frame point of interest, and yet it still plays out. But I'd say more often than not, it's shifting structure just to pick up some stops and continue higher, and then it might give you the entry you're looking for. So that's maybe those 2 or 3 times out of 10 where it actually plays out. ES, same story here. Especially since being in that seek and destroy environment for the entire day, where we form lows and highs, we sweep the low, we sweep the high. Once we sweep the high, we sweep the low. But we failed to make it to that last higher high, to that last London buy side. Otherwise, yeah, I said I'm gonna be looking for a short. Since we didn't get that, I pointed out the paper trade idea of this bearish fair value gap. Eventually didn't turn out to be the high of the day. The high of the day has been formed during the London session. Also kind of a with a little bit of imagination, maybe here, market structure shift, bearish fair value gap, continuation lower, sort of a head and shoulder formation up here. Try it back up into this highest 1 minute or 5 minute bearish fair value gap, and filled it to the tick, rejected. So you could have also used this 5-minute bearish fair value gap as your higher time frame point of interest, which still makes this 2022 model valid. But seeing how violent price has been here, of course now with hindsight, you're going to see all the YouTubers saying, oh yeah, perfect 2022 model. Or maybe if you check out on ICT's Twitter account, I don't do that anymore, but you see like, oh yeah, nice 2022 model entry. Depends all on your set of rules. If you want to see external liquidity to be taken, or if it's enough for you to hit that bearish fair value gap before we hit liquidity. But you gotta decide for one. Pick one and go with it. Let's see our standard deviations. Where did they go? High to low. We hit 3 negative standard deviations. Market structure is kind of from a low, high. Theoretically, that would be our displacement. Let's see if we can close above. I deem this a high risk long if we get it. Leaving behind, yeah, well, might be fine. We expanded to the downside enough. 3 standard deviations of our last fake out move. Bullish fair value gap right here. Breaker block in this scenario is not existent unless we drop down to lower time frames. So let's see, we closed above, so we would have a valid market structure shift. We have a fair value gap. Let's see if we leave behind a fair value gap in here. That would be a better entry. Tight stop loss of 3.75 points. Target internal buy side. Be content with enough. This Friday at the end of the week. Let's see, 30 seconds before this candle is closing. Fresky, do you agree? Valid market structure shift, right? Low, high. We had equal lows. From the lower low, had a pullback, high, a lower low. Most recent short-term high swept. Outside of the New York session, so that won't count as a sweep for me. Middle line, 50%. Okay, we're filled. I would add one if we get down to this last level. So one stop. At the low. Target buy side right here. If we are only filled with one for 8.5 quick points. And what's this from our initial entry? More than 5 points. Yeah, let's see. Otherwise, it's just a quick run on stops. But we have a nice displacement with bullish fair value gaps being left behind. We filled the lowest fair value gap. Market said no. Let's see. Not the cleanest setup, I've got to admit. But setup. In terms of 5-minute bullish fair value gaps, we do not have anything. So target on this buy side and target on this buy side. Let the odds play out. Let's see. Euro is pumping. Let's see if we got here on this long. Check out NQ. NQ with a very similar formation, but without the fair value gaps. Check out YM. Similar. Let's see. Open up with a bearish volume imbalance here. Yeah, Q is also not looking like it wants to continue higher. And we get let's see. Another bearish volume imbalance, not good. So yes, we have put in place bullish order flow, but eventually it was ignored. So now we have equal lows and we got stopped out and it's reversing. That's okay. And Q also left behind equal lows. So now what we could do is treat this as a little fake out here. Measure standard deviations to the downside. For the continuation lower, we did not have a 5-minute bearish fair value gap, just an up closing candle. Didn't get lucky on this one, but with a big enough sample size of trades, that's all good. Oh, 1041. Yeah, I think that will be it for me. Yeah, we could see a potential reversal. DXY breaking to the downside. Euro US dollar also being rather bullish. Yet we didn't do it from this market structure shift here. At least I have been stopped out with my entry down here. Paper trade execution. So nothing lost here. Like we said, Friday is about capital preservation. 5 points. So now we have a inversion fair value gap right here and a inversion fair value gap right here, overlapping with a bearish fair value gap. I would be rather surprised if we leave these equal lows intact. But I'm open for it. Get rid of that one. And Q made a lower low. YM is putting higher lows in place and higher highs. Enjoy your weekend too, H and Smith. So yes, broke. I will call it a week very soon as well. Almost about to hit the negative for standard deviations. And Q. Fresky, did you engage on that 1 minute model? It was worth a try, I would say. A few minutes until 11 a.m. We closed below and never we never came back to retest that. So like I said, we can treat this as our fake out move now. Swept some internal buy side liquidity, but really didn't make it far. Measure from the high to the low, negative 0.5. Like we said, we were aware of the risk that we could be trying to stop a train that's moving to the downside. Every of these little 1 minute pushes to the upside, or it could be as a little wick on the 5 or 15 minute time frame. Eventually, I think we will get a pullback, but at the same time, we do not have any inefficiencies left behind on the 5 minute time frame, really. One hour time frame, bearish 15 minute. Take care, Fresky. Enjoy the rest of your day and weekend. I think I am about to call it as well. So guys, make sure to participate in the giveaway if you're interested. If not, well, then not. Let's see, trading view. Made that lower low. I think we made that same one on NQ. Yeah, we did. YM failed to make a lower low. DXY pulling back. No fair value gap or anything here on the 5. Mm -mm. 1 hour candle looks like it's going to close below that lowest bullish fair value gap. I'm going to stick around until 11. See if we can get in anything, but no, we swept. That's outside the kill zone for me, so no trade entry on EU today. Question, 15-minute breaker plus fair value gap. Yeah, that's the only kind of interesting thing here, but so yeah, so we have that 15-minute bearish fair value gap. This one right here, the breaker block would have been this one. Let me think. So we made a low with the Seek and Destroy, a high, a lower low, a higher high in this fractal sense. Yeah, so we could treat this as our breaker block. Yeah, I'd say that'd be the best opportunity for a continuation short. Breaker block right here, lining up with our 8:30 open, aligning with our 15-minute bearish fair value gap. So even though we're here on a 1-minute time frame and the range isn't super small, it's still a 5.5 point stop loss. Right here, 22 ticks. Short-term high, lower low. Take a quick look at NQ. No, you don't see that on NQ at all. Just a little try here. Paper trade, by the way. I wouldn't take that on any of my funded accounts. Alright, so we've filled. I would use this bullish fair value gap as my invalidation. If we close below, just exit early on. 8 points. Maybe make a run for some internal highs. That'd be the target. But if we fail to hold this here on the 1 minute, done. We have a inversion fair value gap here. Stop loss would go below this low here for me personally. $20 seconds to go. And there we go. Stopped out again. So really trying to go against the overall higher time frame trend. It's not working out so far. We put in bullet structure. We ignore that. Let's check out NQ here. Also made another lower low. We will see about that. I guess just a poor stop loss placement here on the 1 minute time frame. So from our entry, choosing the stop loss at the swing low. So now it would actually be a inversion fair value gap. Let's see if that holds up and we deliver lower after retesting the inversion, or if we close above and continue higher anyway. I would like to see 1 minute structure to be actually respected. We're inside the 1050 to 1110 macro. 15 minute. Immediate rebalance. Right here, immediately rebalance this bearish candle, immediately rebalance this one. The 1 hour candle is about to close soon as well. Rejected of the inversion. Sell side below the slow. So what we would really like to see, since order flow is bullish and we're not respecting any of the bullish fair value gaps we put in place, is to see at least some start of bullish order flow before we take longs, before we consider taking any longs with funded accounts. Because yes, we put it in place, but we ignore it as if it's not there, and that's not exactly what you want to see. Trying to catch a low based on a 1 minute time frame, while all the other time frames tell you bearish, 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 bearish. Because it's super easy to get, stopped out there. So we closed below, rejected, kept on going lower. Let's see. Take a look at NQ. Also just continuing lower, but without giving many opportunities for a market structure shift. Not even a single one, just little pullbacks. Like right here, pullback into a fair value gap, continued lower. No reason to believe we have a market structure shift on ES. We kind of did, but no clean ones. Accepting that fact, I think we're going to continue lower to visit a -4 standard deviation eventually. Maybe we get a retracement, maybe not. We cleared the low. (10:50, 11 a.m. in 4 minutes. Let's see, -4 standard deviations about to be hit. (57, 58, 11 a.m. We're at the low of the hourly candle right now, below the hourly bearish value gap. continue bearish order flow. Gravitating lower towards sell side liquidity. Leaving behind plenty of buy side liquidity. Right here, short-term high, short-term high. Some buy side above this high. It's people who are short trade their stop losses. 2. Some buy side above here. So if you look for a reversal setup somewhere down here, I'd look to target something inside the 1 hour bearish fair value gap, maybe the buy side liquidity right here, overlapping with the 15-minute bearish. But first of all, we need to get a decent setup in here. All right, so 1 more minute until the new hour candle. Did we? Yeah, we hit -4 standard deviations of this entire up move. So from our initial entry up here, bearish fair value gap, 36 points. That's not bad. That's done. Let's see what we get with the new hourly candle. 4, 3, 2, 1, 11 a.m. This is what we would want to see. Displacement, retracement, run out buy side. But I think I am done here. If we get it, be prepared to enter. If not, then either keep on shorting. When I stick around. Not really, I'm not engaging on my funded accounts anyway. I'm done for the week. Yeah, maybe for a paper trade, we'll see. Take a quick look at NQ. NQ massively oversold. ES here. See if we have anything on the higher time frame where we could reject from. Yeah, order block here on the 5, bearish one. It's not a market structure shift yet, just a paper trade execution to see if we can catch momentum to this upside with the new hourly candle. I do not recommend anyone to take this trade on a funded account. This is just me paper trading practice while I'm still sitting here. Be a waste of time not practicing here a little. So with that new hourly momentum and a new 1 minute fair value gap here on the 1 minute time frame, see if that's not enough. Of course, we have reason to believe we could simply reject here, but being pretty oversold like we are right now, we could see a little pullback also with that new hourly candle, maybe into the inversion right here, or at least to the 50% of our previous hourly candle, which is lining up nicely with that inversion. Of course, we don't have to do it exactly from here. We could make, once again, a lower low. But since it's paper trading and we're okay with practicing, worth a try. Let's see, let's still treat it like if it's a real trade. 6.5 points, 10 points. We already filled in this inefficiency. Let's see, could be high resistance to get back above that. It's the first 5-minute candle. Take a look at NQ. Maybe, with luck. Let's see. The SPY side lines up with the 50% of our hourly candle. Is that correct? I think so. Yeah. Nice. At least we're getting something here on the stream. Mm. One minute bearish value gap. If we measure that entire expansion to the downside, from here all the way to here, 50% of that move. Yeah, I'm content with some low-hanging fruit targets. First of all, we have to get up there. Check out the 5. No bearish fair value gaps in here. But let's assume we get a 5-minute market structure shift here. This being our lowest manipulation leg lower. 1 standard deviation would take us right back to the consequent encouragement of that hourly bearish fair value gap. Just hypothetical, in case. Like I said, if we close above here, that would also be a 5-minute structure shift. We form a low, a lower high, and a lower low. If we manage to close above that here, should be pretty good. Don't leave behind any new bullish discounts to potentially enter on. So let's see when that 5-minute candle is about to close in 2 minutes and the 15-minute candle in 7. Going to try my stop loss below the low. If we fail to take buy side here, not really interested in that anymore. We already ran almost 5 points, I think. No, 5 points. A little bit more. But falling short of this buy side, not having really fair value gaps to pull back into other than this one down here. Check out NQ. We are also not the strongest retrace reversal. Now let's leave it like that. Mm, 5-minute candle is going to close in 1 minute. Let's see how the close is going to look like. That's going to be the last execution for the day and for the stream today. On the 5-minute. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we closed. Higher, higher. We'll see. Otherwise, like all the other times where we had a little pullback, not in the end of the day, not a reversal, just a little pullback, once again failing to take buy side liquidity and continue to sell off lower. Because like we said at the beginning of the stream, we're trying to stop a train from falling. It's simply not that simple to long based on a 1-minute time frame against higher time frame trends. In the 1 hour we had a little pullback, but might continue, but you see how many times you can try catching the long and how often you get burned in the end of the day. Not really worth it, if you ask me. You much rather try to trade with the trend and short every time we push up higher, instead of always hoping price is going to reverse, because more often than not, price is not going to reverse and simply continuing lower. That's a nice little short-term low being swept. It's a nice reaction. Short-term low cleared. But we want to see the candle close and ideally engulf here. And not reject once again. Yeah, like we said, short every pump. but prices playing around this bullish fair value gap here. I think that's fair to say. We picked up the stop. We'll see. Staying engaged here, but I think that's gonna be the end for the live stream, at least here on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. Same setup gave 40 points. Yeah, okay, nice. I don't trade YM, unfortunately, guys. And by the way, if you want to participate in the free VIP membership giveaway, submit your guesses for the closing price on Friday, today, for ES on the Discord channel. Like where we did it yesterday. I have shown that on the live stream before. And I wish everyone a happy weekend. Take some time to recover for the next trading week. And yeah, let me check YM here quickly since you've mentioned it, Mr. D. Where are we at? 1 minute time frame. Yeah, not bad. Same setup. Displacement, bullish fair value gap. Yeah, also not the cleanest, but yeah. Let's see, we're still holding around that area. I will keep that paper trade long active, see how it goes. But yeah, thanks very much, guys, for joining in with me today. It's been a 3.5